Hey everybody, this is Pastor Shane Perry. I'm starting a new web blog, so I figured I need to buy a good webcam. So the one on my computer was not really the clarity that I needed, so I went out and got me one here. Hopefully you can hear and see me very well. Um, I'm doing this because I want to post on two different websites that I have about two different subjects. And I want to get your comments on these things. I want to see how you feel about it, whether good, bad, or indifferent. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. But I really believe that we have to look at the way we've been having church. And I believe that a church should grow, a healthy church should grow. And one of the things that hinders us is that a lot of times we say we're trying to reach the lost, but we're really trying to structure a church for people who are already saved, which means that we get transfer members. When that's going to happen, and I'm not putting that down, and sometimes people want to go to a church that's teaching something that they can't get in their local assembly. I understand that. But my goal is to reach the lost, the unchurched, those who have given up on church. And so I understand that I have to deal with those type people in a different way. And so I'm writing this or doing this video blog, and I'm going to write a book called The Things That I Dislike About Church. And it's from my surveys and even things that I've noticed. Somebody saw a video post that I had, came to my church, that I came because you said that most non-believers and unchurched people feel like all the preacher wants is their money. And that may not be the case, but when you have 3, 4, and 5 offerings in the service, it sure looks that way. Or you do the tithe in the beginning, you do the offering at the end because you want an emotional response out of people. And I'm not putting anybody down on how they do things. I do my tithe and offering together. I take about 1 minute and I ask our visitors not to give unless they feel led to. I say, you're not required to give because I don't want to put them under that kind of pressure. I want to train believers to understand the benefits of giving and give them that choice. And they've responded tremendously. And there's just things that turn people off. There's only 25% of American men actually own a suit. So if you're telling people come as you are, but everybody's in a suit and a St. John and everything else, you really mean come as you are until you get like us. And that's the wrong message, in my opinion. And of course, I know that in the old school Pentecostal church, we believe that a woman had to wear a dress, when that's really a misunderstanding of the text. The scripture says that a man should not wear what pertains to a woman and vice versa. But it's not talking about pants, because both men and women wore a robe style garment. The only difference was a man had a border around the bottom of his that symbolized him as male authority. So what he actually said was, don't wear the garment with the border on the bottom. So if we really want to fulfill that scripture, I would be more apt to put on a dress as a man than for a woman to have to or not be able to wear pants. So I think as we expand and we understand things, that we have to make adjustments. I don't compromise the gospel. In fact, I preach the gospel. I've tried to steer away from words in my church when I'm preaching to non-believers in the unchurched. I try to steer away from words that sound theological and words like breakthrough and break out and get your miracle and all that stuff. Not that God doesn't want to do that, but I want to preach the gospel to the lost. I want the lost to understand and experience the power and the presence of God. And thank God we have a mature church that's able to help their friends come and experience the gospel. And that's another thing. You want your members to bring their family and their friends, but the problem is a lot of them only come one time because we turn them off. You should never have a visitor stand up in the service and tell where they're from and what their name is. If they're a church person, they love doing that. If they're unchurched, it's uncomfortable. One of the greatest fears reported among all people is public speaking. So why don't we tell somebody to stand in the service? You're putting them in the most precarious position. So it's just things that I've learned and instituted, and things have been working on our behalf. And of course, there are books written, The Purpose-Driven Church by Rick Warren, and several other books on church growth. Apostle Otis Lockett, the late Apostle Otis Lockett, was a great influence on my life. And I just want to win the lost. Even Bob Jackson doing a tremendous job evangelizing. It's my heart. And so I want to share those things with you that maybe will help you adjust your service. Like when I came up in church, it was the King James Version or no other version. One great theologian said that if King James were alive today, he would read the NIV. And the reason why is because he had that version authorized so it would be understandable to the people of his day. I don't speak a 400-year-old dialect of the my computer went down there, of the English language. I speak the modern colloquial expressions of my time. So I read from a version that enhances that and that causes people to be able to respond to that. So the other thing that I want to do is we're following Rick Warren's 40 Days of Purpose from a Purpose-Driven Life. We're starting this Sunday, and you can follow us at www.nbcpsl.com. That's www.nbcpsl.com. And I'm going to do a daily web blog that's going to go to our small groups because we're broken down in small groups. And you can join in with us and you can follow along and you can email your questions. You can Facebook, tweet, all of that stuff. My Facebook and Twitter, Shane Perry Sr. And of course, on the website at www.shaneperrysenior.com or at our church website, nbcpsl.com. So I'm going to be going through the Purpose-Driven Life. It's actually 42 days in the revised version. So follow along with us and let's get through this thing together. Let's see our churches grow. Let's see our lives develop and let's become strong, mature believers. All right. I always love being able to come into your home and talk to you. And we're going to start blogging. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right. God bless.